The suitcase that shouldn't exist. I wasn't supposed to be home that Tuesday afternoon. My manager called in the morning and told me our meeting was cancelled. It felt like a free day, so I grabbed a sandwich on the way and thought I'd surprise my wife, Natalie. We'd been married 7 years, and things had felt off lately. She'd been working late, staying quiet, glued to her phone. I chalked it up to stress. That's what you do when you trust someone. You give them the benefit of the doubt. But when I opened our front door, something didn't feel right. There were 2 coffee mugs on the counter. Hers, and a black ceramic one I didn't recognize. Then I saw it. By the coat rack, next to my muddy work boots, sat a sleek, navy blue suitcase. It wasn't mine. It wasn't hers. It still had an airline tag on the handle, LAX2ORD. My stomach dropped. I didn't hear anyone at first. The house was silent. But then I caught the faintest sound from upstairs. A low laugh. A man's laugh. In my bedroom. That was the moment everything began to unravel. Let me tell you what happened next. He knew my name. I crept upstairs like a ghost. Each step felt like walking through cement. My heartbeat was so loud, I was sure they'd hear me before I got to the top. But I had to see it. I had to know. There's a strange moment between suspicion and proof, a kind of madness. You want to be wrong. You pray you're overreacting. The door to our bedroom was slightly ajar. I could see shadows moving on the wall. I heard Natalie giggling, soft, flirty, not the way she laughed with me anymore. Then I heard him say my name. "Are you sure Eric won't be home? You said he'd be gone all day." I froze. He knew my name. Natalie replied, her voice low and relaxed. "He never comes home early. He trusts me." I didn't think. I kicked the door open. They both jumped like I was a gunshot. Natalie yanked the sheets over herself, eyes wide. The guy scrambled to cover himself. He looked like some finance bro, tanned, cocky, smug even in panic. And the worst part? Natalie didn't scream. She didn't cry. She just stared at me, blank. Like I was the problem. My whole world cracked in half that second. But it was about to get worse. The betrayal was planned. I expected chaos. Yelling. Apologies. Denials. Something. But instead, Natalie calmly said, "Eric, you weren't supposed to be here." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "I live here," I snapped. "Who the hell is this guy?" He just smirked and pulled on his shirt like this was some casual mistake, like I'd walked in on them having coffee, not destroying my marriage. "His name is Travis," Natalie said, still not looking guilty. "And before you say anything, no, this isn't a fling." I was shaking. "What do you mean not a fling?" She sighed, like I was being unreasonable. "I've known him for a year," she said. "I met him at that marketing conference in San Diego. It just happened. But it made me realize how numb we are together. I didn't mean for it to go this far, but you've been so distracted lately." That was her justification. My busy work schedule apparently gave her the green light to invite another man into her bed. But what chilled me most was what she said next. "We were going to talk to you this weekend. Travis is moving in. I was going to ask you to leave." I stood there, stunned, as the man who ruined my marriage zipped up his pants like he belonged. This wasn't just betrayal, it was premeditated. She had a backup plan. I walked out of that room in a daze. I didn't shout. I didn't throw anything. I didn't even cry. My body just moved, almost separate from my mind. Down the stairs. Into the kitchen. I stared at the 2 coffee mugs again. Now they felt like evidence at a crime scene. I heard footsteps behind me. Natalie's voice was quiet but firm. "Eric, please don't make this harder than it needs to be." I turned around, and for the first time in our 7 years together, I looked at her like she was a stranger. "You've been planning this. For how long?" She hesitated. "A few months." "A few months? And what, you thought you'd just kick me out of my own house?" She crossed her arms. "Actually, the house is in my name." My stomach twisted. I'd forgotten. When we bought the house, my credit was still recovering from a student loan issue. The mortgage had gone under her name, even though we'd split the payments down the middle. "And the car?" I asked, already knowing the answer. "It's mine too." It hit me like a punch to the gut. She had been positioning herself to cut me out completely. The house, the car, even the joint savings, slowly emptied into a personal emergency fund over the last year. She had a plan. She wasn't just leaving me. She was erasing me. The ultimatum. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed in the guest room, lying on the stiff mattress, staring at the ceiling while every memory I had with Natalie played in my head like some cruel montage. Our wedding. Our trip to Maui. The time she cried because I brought home her favorite cake after a rough day. All of it, now tainted. By morning, she had coffee ready. Like it was a normal day. Travis was already gone. She sat across from me at the kitchen table, looking strangely composed. Like a boss giving a final warning before firing someone. "I don't want this to be ugly," she said. "You can stay a few more days. Get your stuff together. But Travis is coming back this weekend, and I think it's best you're gone by then." I just stared at her. "You really think I'm going to roll over and walk away from everything like that?" She blinked, once, slowly. "Eric, this was never working. You just didn't want to admit it." The gall of it. She cheated. She lied. And now I was the one being told to pack up and vanish like some unwanted tenant. But then she made a mistake. A slip. "You knew I wasn't happy. That's why you started tracking my phone." My blood ran cold. "I never tracked your phone," I said. Her face paled. She knew she'd said too much. Suddenly, I realized, someone else had been watching her. And it wasn't me. A stranger in the shadows. That slip-up kept echoing in my mind all day. "I never tracked your phone." "So who did?" She said it so casually, like it was common knowledge, like she'd been paranoid about it for a while. But the more I thought about it, the more something didn't add up. I stayed quiet, acted like I didn't catch it, and left the house that afternoon to clear my head. Instead, I went to someone I hadn't spoken to in over a year, James, my old college roommate and now a cybersecurity analyst. I told him the basics, left out the affair part for now, and asked if he could check if Natalie's phone had been compromised. He owed me a favor, so he agreed. He dug around that night and called me back the next morning. "Eric, this is going to sound crazy, but someone's been mirroring her phone for months. I traced the signals. They're not coming from your IP. They're coming from his." "His?" "Yeah. A guy named Travis Grant. Recognize the name?" I almost dropped my phone. Her lover had been tracking her the entire time. James continued, "He's been accessing her texts, location, call logs, everything. And here's the kicker. He's done this before. There are 2 police reports under his name. Domestic harassment. California and Nevada." I felt sick. She thought she was leaving me for a better man. But the truth? She was walking straight into a trap. The truth she refused to see. I raced back home with my thoughts spiraling. How the hell do you tell someone, the man you left me for is stalking you? Would she even believe me? Or would she twist it into another accusation, like I was trying to manipulate her into staying? When I walked in, she was sitting on the couch, scrolling through her phone like nothing had happened. I sat down across from her, and for the first time in days, she looked me in the eye. "What?" she said, annoyed. "I know Travis has been spying on you." She froze. Her thumb stopped mid-swipe. I didn't give her a chance to speak. "He mirrored your phone, Natalie. I had it confirmed by someone who does this professionally. He has your messages, call history, even your GPS location." She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. I kept going. "There are police reports on him, too. From women he dated before. This guy has a pattern, Natalie." She shook her head slowly, as if trying to physically reject the idea. No, you're just saying this because I left you. You were jealous. You probably made it all up." I pulled out my phone and showed her the proof. The IP logs. The mirror access points. Even the names on the reports. She went pale. But instead of panic or fear, she whispered. "He said you'd try to turn me against him. He warned me." That's when I knew. She was in too deep. A dangerous obsession. I didn't sleep that night, again. Not just because of the betrayal, or the heartbreak, or the humiliation. This time, it was fear. Natalie didn't just ignore the evidence. She defended him. Even after I laid it out in black and white, she still clung to his words like they were gospel. That kind of denial, it's not just emotional. It's dangerous. And then something happened that confirmed my worst fear. Around 3 a.m., I heard the garage door open. I looked out the window, and saw his car pulling into the driveway. He wasn't supposed to be back until the weekend. I went to the kitchen and grabbed the baseball bat from the hall closet. Not because I planned to use it, but because a small part of me was starting to believe I might have too. He walked in like he owned the place. No knock. No hesitation. I stood in the hallway, blocking his path. "You've got 5 seconds to get out of my house." He smiled, slow and smug. "Your house?" Thought that wasn't up for debate anymore. I didn't move. "I know what you've been doing, Travis. You've been tracking her. Watching her." His grin faded. "I'm not scared of you," he said flatly. "Good," I replied. "Because the cops might be." That hit him. His jaw tightened. He took a slow step toward me, and for a second, I truly thought he might swing. But then Natalie came downstairs in a robe. And what she said next, it shattered what little I had left inside. "If you call the cops, I'll tell them you threatened us." Framed in my own home. It felt like the room cracked open and swallowed me whole. I looked at Natalie, stunned. "You can't be serious." She didn't flinch. Didn't blink. Just stood there beside Travis like she was protecting him, like I was the intruder in this house I'd helped build from nothing. "You think they'll believe you?" she said coldly. "After everything? You're unstable. You've been sleeping in the guest room, refusing to leave. If I say you got violent, they'll believe me." That was the moment I realized she wasn't being manipulated anymore. She was choosing this. Travis watched with a smug grin, like he had coached her through it all. I lowered the bat. Not because I was scared of them, but because I suddenly saw the bigger picture. They wanted a reaction. Something emotional. Something loud. Something they could twist into a narrative where I was the danger. Instead, I walked past them. Grabbed my keys. My laptop. My phone. And left. I didn't even pack a bag. I just drove. Ended up in a cheap motel on the edge of town, shaking as I sat on the bed with the lights off, trying to breathe. But as I sat there, alone in the silence, one thought wouldn't leave me. They want me gone. Because they're hiding something. And I was going to find out exactly what. Her secret account. The next morning, I called James again. I told him everything, about Travis showing up early, about Natalie threatening to lie to the police, about me leaving the house. James was quiet for a second, then asked, "Do you want me to dig deeper?" I didn't even hesitate. "Yeah. I need to know everything." He called back a few hours later with something I didn't expect. "Eric, your wife has a second bank account." My heart stopped. "What?" "It's under her maiden name. Opened 6 months ago. She's been moving money into it little by little from your joint account. But here's the part you're gonna want to sit down for, she's been getting deposits too." "From who?" James hesitated. "From Travis. Large ones. Thousands." I felt like I couldn't breathe. She wasn't just sleeping with him, she was in business with him. They were transferring money between each other. Planning something bigger. James added, "It looks like they're trying to cover their tracks. Using crypto wallets to shift some of the money. Offshore accounts. Like they're gearing up to vanish." I sat in stunned silence. The betrayal I thought I understood was just the surface. They weren't just kicking me out. They were trying to erase everything I built. My marriage, my savings, my name. And that's when I knew. This wasn't just an affair. This was a con. The fake startup. Once James uncovered the money trail, I couldn't sit still. I dug through old emails, texts, anything I could remember. That's when it clicked. 6 months ago, Natalie had mentioned helping Travis with a business project. At the time, I thought it was just some startup nonsense, probably doomed to fail. I didn't ask questions. I trusted her. That word haunted me now, trusted. I found an old message where she said, "Travis finally got the LLC paperwork. We're live." I looked up the company name, Dria Tech Consulting LLC. It had a sleek website. Generic buzzwords. AI-powered solutions for modern enterprises. But no real clients. No press. No staff. It was a shell. Registered under Travis's name. But the twist? The address listed for the business was my home address. They were using my house as the official HQ for a company that didn't exist, while plotting to kick me out of it. I felt sick. I called a lawyer. Explained everything. He asked me to come in the next morning with every document, message, and screenshot I had. I wasn't just a betrayed husband anymore, I was a target of fraud. I was ready to fight back. But just when I thought I had a grip on things, Natalie showed up at the motel. Tears in her eyes. "Eric, I think I made a mistake." Her panic was real. She stood outside the motel door like a ghost. Same woman. Same eyes. But none of the coldness from before. Just panic. Real panic. Not the kind you fake when you're caught. The kind that comes when your world starts falling apart faster than you can spin it. "Can I come in?" she asked softly. I didn't answer. I just stepped aside. She sat on the edge of the motel bed like she might shatter. Her hands shook. "Travis is not who I thought he was," she whispered. "No kidding. I mean it, Eric. I overheard him on the phone last night. I think he's planning to disappear. With everything. The money. The accounts. And not just from you, from me too." I stared at her. "You're surprised the con man conned you?" She didn't respond. "I confronted him," she said. "He told me to shut up. Said I was lucky he wasn't done with me yet. That if I went to the police, I'd regret it. He said my name was already tied to everything and I'd go down too." I couldn't tell if this was another manipulation. Another twist. But then she pulled something out of her bag, a flash drive. I copied everything. Emails. Transfers. Texts. "I don't know who to trust anymore. But I trust you." For the first time, I saw something that might have been real. Fear. Not just of being left behind. But of being destroyed. Building the case. I stared at the flash drive in my hand. It felt heavier than it should have, like it carried everything, the betrayal, the lies, the truth I wasn't supposed to know. Natalie sat silently across from me, waiting for something, maybe forgiveness, maybe salvation. I didn't have either to give. "I'm giving this to my lawyer," I said finally. "And the police." She nodded, eyes wet. "I know. I deserve it." I called James again. Told him what she brought. He asked me to upload the contents to a secure drive. We sat on the motel room floor and opened it together, Natalie watching like she was waiting for a bomb to go off. What we found was worse than I expected. There were fake invoices, offshore transfers, cryptocurrency laundering trails, screenshots of Travis bragging about using Natalie's name to shield his real identity. "She's so naive," he wrote to someone. "Thinks we're in love. She's just cover." Natalie looked like she'd been slapped when she read it. The entire operation, Dryatech, was a scam. A front to launder investor money from a handful of angel backers who believed they were funding a legit AI startup. Travis used Natalie's clean record to front paperwork and handle money movement, while he planned to disappear to South America. And the kicker? There was a fake insurance policy, taken out in my name, with a death benefit. That's when I felt it in my bones. He wasn't just trying to ruin me. He was ready to get rid of me. I was supposed to die. My hands were ice cold. I kept rereading the policy like it would somehow make less sense the fifth time. But it was all there. My name. My social security number. $1 million payout. The beneficiary? A company account registered to Dryatech. I looked up at Natalie. "Did you know about this?" She shook her head furiously. "No. I swear, Eric. I didn't. I thought the money stuff was shady, but I never saw this. I didn't think he'd..." Her voice cracked. James's voice came through my speaker. "Eric. This isn't just a financial scam anymore. This is attempted insurance fraud. And if they were planning to use your death to collect on it, this is criminal conspiracy. You need to go to the police. Now." I left the motel and drove straight to my lawyer's office, Natalie in the passenger seat, silent and trembling. We handed everything over, emails, bank records, the flash drive, and the insurance file. He stared at it all, grim. "You've got more than enough," he said. "I'll go with you to the authorities. But be careful. If this guy thinks you're onto him, he could be dangerous." By that night, the police had everything. The detective asked me where Travis might be. I told them I didn't know, but deep down, I knew he'd run. Guys like him don't wait around for handcuffs. But what I didn't expect was what Natalie did next. She told the police she wanted to wear a wire. The final move. I watched from the surveillance van as Natalie stepped into the cafe. She looked different, nervous, yes, but also ready. The wire was hidden beneath her blouse, and a tiny transmitter clipped under her collar would feed everything to the two officers beside me. I sat still, Heart pounding so loud it drowned out the static. Travis arrived 5 minutes late, all sunglasses and swagger. He slid into the seat across from her like nothing was wrong. "What's this about?" he asked, his voice already cautious. Natalie forced a smile. "I'm in. All the way. But we need to be smart." He narrowed his eyes. "What does that mean?" She leaned in. "The cops are sniffing around. Eric's poking where he shouldn't. If you're planning something with that insurance crap, I want to know the exit plan." There was a long pause. Then Travis chuckled. "You worry too much. Once the paperwork's finalized, the payout comes in clean. Eric's off the grid, one way or another." One way or another. Those words sealed it. He laid out everything: the fake company, the money laundering, the offshore accounts, and the plan to stage an accident that would take care of Eric permanently. Natalie kept her composure. "I nearly kicked the van door open." 15 minutes later, as Travis stepped outside, a swarm of officers closed in. Guns drawn. He froze. And for the first time, the man who thought he could destroy me looked terrified. He was arrested on the spot. Fraud. Conspiracy. Attempted insurance homicide. The charges stacked like bricks. Natalie testified. The wire recording became the nail in his coffin. It took months for the dust to settle. Legal battles. Depositions. More therapy than I care to admit. But in the end, justice won. I got my name back. My house. Even part of the frozen funds. As for Natalie, I'll never forget what she did, or how deeply she hurt me. But I saw something in her when she put on that wire: remorse. Maybe even redemption. This wasn't just the end of a marriage. It was the end of my old life, and the start of one I'd never take for granted again. If you found this story gripping, real, and unforgettable, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. More true feeling stories are on the way.